Thanks for that. Thanks. And I must just correct you a little bit. I'm no longer the Director for Trade and Investment. I'm now actually the Director for Enterprise and Investment. And the reason for that is that, in fact, the city underwent a major restructuring at the beginning of this year. And what we saw in particular in my department, while I used to focus mainly on kind of trade and big investors and bringing big investments into Cape Town, which we still is very much a focus of our department, we have also in fact grown to include enterprise development, and that's led very ably. That team is led by Tembe and Kosi Siganda. They've done amazing work there. They've got huge experience, in fact, in helping SMMEs and small businesses and entrepreneurs, in fact, grow their businesses through various campaigns that we run, which I'll speak to in the speech today. And in fact, we'll be opening with in fact, the president on Friday, we'll be opening a new one-stop shop just under the Cape Sun for big investments. So it's a one-stop shop for big investors to come in there and get the kind of facilitatory services from all the government departments if they want to land their investment in Cape Town and in the Western Cape. But not to be outdone in terms of that, and to just show that we focus on big investments. We, in fact, as a city also, if you just go down the escalators to the Strand Street concourse, we will soon be opening up in around about November a one-stop shop which will be giving advice to small businesses, and hopefully we'll see co-locations of any other organizations that are working in that space as well, co-locating with us in that, so that we'll be able to offer the same level of services that we're offering to big business to also small businesses as well, because we take that very, very importantly. And I must say, I'm really honored to be speaking here today and to be speaking to essentially entrepreneurs, people who've taken the risk of starting up their own small business. And I have a couple of friends who are entrepreneurs, and I must say I have tremendous respect for entrepreneurs. I've seen how hard people have to work to get a business off the ground. And, so some of my friends, for instance, have been at it for about 4 or 5 years. They're still working like 12, 13-hour days. They're still working 7 days a week to make sure that their business, in fact, grows and thrives. And I've certainly seen it develop through those various stages. So I know it's not an easy undertaking. I know it's a difficult one. But really, I think, stick with it, because it's an important thing for our country and for job creation as well. Also, I've often heard it said that, starting a small business or being an entrepreneur is a bit like having a baby. And I can certainly identify with that, because I've got a 1-year-old beautiful daughter. She's just about to turn 1 year old. So what I think I do share with you is a couple of things. Is that, firstly, I think we share sleepless nights. I think you have lots of sleepless nights about your business, and that you certainly have a lot of stresses around that. I think also that you probably end up spending money on things that you need rather than on things that you want. And that certainly is something that you have to do around that front. I also think that you probably are also stressing that, are you doing the right thing? You often don't know. Are you doing the right thing for your business? Are you, in fact, doing the things that are required, or are you doing the wrong things? And I think that's some of the stresses that you always have to live with. But, on the positive side, you also then get to have the joy of witnessing something grow and develop into something that is a really enterprise that truly belongs to you and that is truly a product of your work. So I think that is the positive side of it as well. And then I also think as you go along, and certainly in raising our daughter, I think that you also find certain coping strategies as well as to how you deal with particular challenges that get thrown up at you. So really, I think entrepreneurs have to take that on. But I think the most important kind of similarities is, in fact, that is the importance of having a good support network. You need to know who you can call upon when you have particular problems, when you have issues that are beyond your normal competency. You need to be able to go to somebody and say, how do I mentor? How do I get through a particular issue? So hopefully the city can be that. Hopefully the city can, in some ways, kind of be your maternal grandmother in a way, that can kind of help you in terms of giving you that particular advice and certainly pointing you in the right directions. And I think what I'll do for the remainder of the speech is tell you about some of the services that we do offer that you can draw upon, that hopefully we can point you in the right direction around that. So as I said, that we do have a one-stop shop, which is the physical space will be opening up in about 3 months' time at the Strand Street Concourse. And I do encourage all of you that if you're looking for advice, you're looking for support, please do come down to that shop, and we'll certainly be there to help you on that front. But in the meantime as well, and what is the constant service that we offer, is that we have a business inquiry service, and we have a hotline number And we have staff that actually man that. So if you phone in and you have a particular query that you want to ask about starting a business, or about where do you go for financing, or even if it's a municipal problem that you're having in terms of electricity connections or things like that, please do call that hotline, and we will then certainly direct you in the right direction and hopefully help you resolve that. So in terms of details for that, this is the flyers that we have, and we'll certainly be at the stand, the Cape Town stand, so you can pick one of these up, and all the numbers and the emails are on there. So please do make use of it. Over this last year, we've had about 900 calls to that hotline, and we've certainly helped a number of businesses in their particular journey. Also to say that we have about a network, an ecosystem that we draw on of about 130 locally based support organizations. So we certainly know which organizations will be able to help you with your particular queries, whether it's related to financing, whether it's related to skills development, internships, mentorships, whatever. We can certainly point you in the right direction and make sure that you get the right assistance that you need. So we are here to help you in that regard. So as I said, we are launching the shop. What we also do is that we're helping to do investor facilitation. And this is in line with the city's investment incentives across Cape Town as well. So if you are looking to open up a factory at some point and you want to actually start doing production around that, we have a number of manufacturing investment incentives. At the moment, they're largely kind of focused on Atlantis, but we are looking to expand that to about 5 other industrial areas of Cape Town as well. So we can certainly help you on that journey too, when you want to move into manufacturing. We also have implemented an enterprise and supplier development program to support more than 500 enterprises. And the way we go about doing this, in fact, is that we have a database of about 14,500 vendors that are on the database of the city. So if you want to do business with the city, you have to register as a vendor. It's not too complicated a process, and we can certainly help you in doing that. Once you are then registered on that database, we can then keep you informed as to what tenders are going out and how you can then participate in that tender process. But what we decided as well is to say that it's not just about the tenders, because a lot of people, and I know when I speak at a lot of these functions, people always say, yeah, but you know, we've tendered a lot and we never got any business from the city. Unfortunately, the problem is that the city can't give all 14,500 vendors on that database work. We only at the moment have about 8,000 of those vendors who have actually participated in tenders and have actually been successful around that. So we have a limited amount of procurement that we do, so not everyone can benefit from this. And certainly the most competitive will benefit, but those that don't benefit, we also want to be able to assist you in other ways too. So what we've said to companies is that you can come in and we can use our database to actually give out support and information and opportunities to those vendors that go beyond city tenders. And that's what we've certainly done. So for instance, we've run workshops in conjunction with ABSA, for instance, on supplier development. And we will send out that information to our entire database to say, these workshops are happening. If you want opportunities to, in fact, work out how to build your business, work out how to build your enterprise, and then be able to procure from various corporates, these are the things you can participate in. So I do really encourage you to actually register on the database of the city as a vendor so that you can also benefit from some of those opportunities coming through from there. What we also do is we fund a number of SPVs, which is special purpose vehicles. So these are ones that work in particular sectors, whether it's the Cape Town Fashion Council, whether it's the Cape IT Initiative, whether it's the BPO sector, which is the core centers. And what they do is they run a number of skills development programs, but also a number of enterprise development programs and supplier development programs. So I'd also encourage you to get in touch with some of those SPVs as well. They can certainly help assist you in terms of making benefits from that. And with what we have also found now is with the change in the new BEE codes, is that there's a lot of corporates out there that are certainly looking to, in fact, engage with small suppliers. They need to do that in terms of keeping up their BEE rankings as well, and there's a lot more emphasis now on supplier development and enterprise development. So there are a lot more opportunities. You just need to take advantage of those. And if you come to the city or if you come to one of our SPVs, we'll be able to assist you in those programs and hopefully give you some of those opportunities that you can then benefit from. So we really want to see Cape Town businesses and small businesses benefit from those particular opportunities. So I really do encourage you to deal with those. We also have various incubators as well. So we have an incubator, for instance, called FernTech, which is out in Inyanga. That works with the furniture technology, so we help enterprises there and we help people get skilled in terms of furniture technology so that they can then learn the skills necessary to start furniture businesses as well. So if any of you are involved in that space, then please do also take advantage of that too. We also have what's called Sarebi out in Atlantis, which is a South African renewable energy business incubator. What that is looking to do is certainly a number of the big companies that are manufacturing for the national renewable energy program, so producing the big wind towers and things like that, they operate in Atlantis. But we also wanted to make sure that small businesses could benefit from this. So the suppliers to these companies, in fact, can get taken through this incubator and actually build up their business to a point where they can then supply some of the inputs into these bigger multinational companies that are operating in Atlantis. So if any of you are working in that space, I do encourage you to get involved there too. And then I think just lastly on procurements as well, it's an important point too. Because as I said, a lot of people do ask us, how do we benefit from the city's procurement? And there's no doubt, I mean, the city does procure a lot each year, and certainly it's a big driver for economic growth as well. And we are trying to break up a lot of the tenders so that we can actually make opportunities available, not just to the big corporates and the big companies, but in fact to the smaller developers as well and smaller enterprises, so that you can benefit from that as well. So just in terms of the reporting around that, so for the year ending June 2017, the city reported that more than 92.7% of its purchase orders were placed with BBBEE compliant vendors. And this is part of our commitment to redress through empowerment and economic inclusion. And as part of our drive to create a city in which previously disadvantaged residents are afforded economic opportunities, the City of Cape Town issued a total of 216,865 purchase order in the financial year ending June 2017. So that's about 1,000 purchase orders per working day. So there certainly is a lot of opportunities that can come through from there. It can't benefit all of those on the database, but certainly I would encourage you to participate in those tender processes. There are opportunities for you in that particular one. And so this equates to more than 13.6 billion rand, or 92% of our total purchase orders issued for this period. So that gives you a sense of, in fact, what we have tried to do in terms of encouraging both BEE compliance as well as in terms of small business development too. In terms of just general kind of development as well, what we're trying to do is do skills training programs as well, particularly in the high growth sectors. So some of the high growth sectors we've seen is, for instance, in the technology space. I mean, Cape Town has the most tech startups than any other city in Africa, and we definitely want to see more people benefit from that. So we are looking at piloting a number of skills programs that we are going to be running in different communities around Cape Town to ensure that people are skilled up on tech skills so that they can take advantage of what's happening in that particular space. And we're also looking at building off a fiber optic network where we've got 800 kilometers of fiber optic cables on the ground. And what we're doing with that is trying to provide more than 500 Wi-Fi access points across the city, allowing 100 megs of download per day free. So that's what we're trying to do in terms of creating the kind of environment for small businesses to then operate in and to thrive around that as well. But please, if you have any other questions as well, I mean, I can take questions now too, but please do come. We have got a stand here as well as the City of Cape Town, and we are here ready to help, ready to assist. Unfortunately, we don't have the kind of deep pockets that, for instance, national or provincial does, so we don't have the big money to run in terms of financing and things like that. But what we do have is that we know the network of those finance opportunities, and we can certainly put you in touch with all of those particular organizations because we have a very good relationship with them. So really do see us as a point of support and a point of advice, and we're certainly here to assist you in your journey, which I know is a very rough one, but I know will definitely breed rewards at the end of it. So thank you for this opportunity, and good luck with the rest of your activities for the day.